Hey, today I'm again talking about 3 brand new movies. It was a little difficult to manage it this time, but I was able to do it. The names of those 3 movies are Sweat, The Green Knight, and How It Ends. First up is Sweat. This is a Polish movie, and I really liked it. The basic premise is it follows a woman who's my age who is a fitness influencer. It basically just fills in the times in between when influencers post. Like, what is the rest of their life like? There's so much I like about this movie. First off, the main actress, Magda, she is incredible. Like, she has such a way of just like subtle movements with her eyebrows convey so much information. And like a lot of this movie is actually shot in extreme close-up. So we're like right up in her face, seeing just like those little eye twitches and stuff. It's so fascinating too, because like we don't entirely know what she's thinking. Like, we follow her for the entire movie, but we never get like that internal monologue or anything. So like there are times where like you see her like truly come to life when she is on camera doing, you know, influencer stuff. You can tell that she really loves it. And then there's those quiet moments in between where she's just kind of living her life and it feels sad, but is it really that sad? But then she talks about it later and she is sad, but she's not sad. But then like there are like scenes where things get kind of awkward. Like she meets this older woman who's a fan of hers, and you can instantly tell how uncomfortable she is in the situation. She's just kind of like smiling, nodding, like, get me the hell out of this situation. But then the scene keeps on going and she doesn't leave. She actually chooses to stay with this woman longer. She's both uncomfortable but happy at the same time. She doesn't know what to say or how to react to the things that are being said to her, but this is kind of the exact place that she wants to be in. Maybe, sort of. I don't know. It's really cool. It's so neat. And the story just in general is great. Like, lots of really interesting ideas. I also really loved that they didn't sexualize the main character. Like, that would have been so easy to do because, you know, she's a beautiful woman and she's wearing, you know, sports stuff the entire time. And we also see her at home. Like, there was a scene where she's wearing just a big t-shirt and underwear. Like, super easy to just have a nice wide shot and so you can check out her ass. But like, no, the movie doesn't do it. Instead, it rightfully so chooses to do an extreme close-up. So you could really get into the mindset of her, to really experience the emotions she was going through in that moment. I also really love her relationship with her mom because it's so complex and relatable. It kind of just breaks down to like a generational disconnect. And after I was done with the movie, there was an interview after it in my copy where the director talked about how that was very intentional, that in Poland there is a very big generational disconnect between our generation and boomers, essentially. How, especially just with like emotions, that like we're way more open with our emotions and we're able to talk about our emotions openly, and they're way more closed off. Oh God, there's a part where the daughter really opens up to the mom about something. It seems like a no-brainer. The mom's gonna totally understand what the daughter's saying because like the daughter's saying something really messed up that happened to her, but it goes in such a different direction, and it just it's so fascinating and heartbreaking, and just it's such a good story. It's just such a good story. And like, it's hard to tell if like the main character is empathetic or not, because she does so many things that are like classic, I empathize with you, but at the same time, is she really, or is she just kind of doing this to get rid of it? Maybe? And I think that's another thing that I love about this story is just the ambiguity. Like, they don't really give us definitive answers on who she is as a person, but they do. But they don't? But they do. And just the ending is so good too. It was the correct choice for the ending. It just worked. So it's no surprise, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I 100% recommend it. It is definitely a must watch. It's great. But next up is The Green Knight. I have been so hyped about this movie for so long. Like, that trailer with all of those crazy visuals, I was like, yes, please, and more. Oh my God, I gotta watch it. Finally did, with one of my brothers and one of my friends. And was all right. The basic premise is it's inspired by an Arthurian poem, so it's one of the Knights of the Round Table, and just about how one of the knights has to go on this quest, essentially. And I went in with the expectation of, oh, it's a Knight of the Round Table. There's probably gonna be some action-y stuff in there. No, there really isn't any action. Actually, the movie's very, very slow, to the point of which that my buddy Josh may have fallen asleep at one point. As in, he did fall asleep at one point. And then I was like, that's fine. There's gonna be cool visuals and stuff. I mean, there are cool visuals, but they're really few and far between. That to not like really super keep it that interesting. I mean, but the visuals, when they are cool, are really cool. It just... it's all right. I would say the best scene is the scene where he meets the ghost. That was really cool. It was the most engaging the entire time. I think everyone performed well. I think my main thing was just more of the pacing. Also, the fox didn't look good. I don't know. It's a movie that in order to enjoy it, you have to know the source material and you have to discuss it afterwards. And it's like, you don't really want that with a movie. You want to be able to enjoy a movie in its own right. But I did still enjoy the movie. It just wasn't as amazing as hoped to be. So it's middle of the road to me. I don't recommend it unless like you're super into Arthurian stuff. Otherwise, yeah, no. And lastly is how it ends. This movie was written and maybe co-directed by Zoe Lister-Jones, who is an actor and filmmaker that I thoroughly love. She made the film Band-Aid, which I crazy love. She was also in New Girl and Life in Pieces, and great in both of those roles. So I was mega hyped for this movie. She's been talking about it for forever because it was filmed basically at the beginning of the pandemic, like a month or so into lockdown. So like the streets of Los Angeles were just bare. So basically she had a skeleton crew go around and film a little adventure film with all of her friends. The basic premise is it's the last day on Earth, a meteor is about to hit the planet, and she's going around with her younger self to make amends with people from her life, while also bumping into a cast of characters. I liked the basic premise a lot. I liked a lot of the scenes and what the scenes accomplished. I think it was acted well. It was a little annoying kind of having some like sci-fi elements in there and not really doing anything with it, but whatever, I can get rid of the sci-fi nerd in me to just accept it for what it is. But then also like with the younger self part, at first I thought it was just gonna be she always can just, she's having a conversation with her imaginary younger self. That's interesting, that's fine, I accept that. But then they establish that everyone has a younger self, they just choose not to see them. And then since today is the last day on Earth, everyone can see everyone's younger self. And then they don't do anything with that. My big issue with the movie is the editing. The editing is so bad. I don't know if I've come across a movie with worse editing. It was literally every single time someone finished a sentence, there would be a cut to a reaction shot. Even if that other person wasn't going to say anything, it was literally end of a sentence, cut, end of a sentence, cut, end of a sentence, cut. And it's like, what are you doing? You need to stop cutting. And it got to the point where I was just like, all right, they're gonna cut now. Damn it, oh my God. And then it just go over and over and over again. And it just stop. The entire movie, I was super aware of the editing, and that's never a good thing. So yeah, so I am disappointed in this movie. I do not recommend it. I do ever recommend the soundtrack to the movie, because it's bitchin'. I definitely need to listen to it some more, because it is really good. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Sweat sitting at number 4 in the really liked category, and it's gonna be a hard one to beat. I don't know if I'm gonna come across any movie that'll beat it this year. It's so good. And then after that is The Green Knight, sitting at number 25 in the liked category. And then literally right behind that is How It Ends, sitting at number 26 in the liked category. And this is out of a total of 34 new movies so far this year, which brings the grand total of all the movies this year up to 213.